We back on, we are back on Zoom and Facebook until further notice.
Praise the Lord.
Please keep victims of Helene and Milton in your prayers because the devastation is real. Just to say, my son had to get back here from Tampa. He got in Sunday, and we just thank God he got back safely. And I want to bring up that you'll know this is October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Ladies, please get your mammograms and conduct your monthly self-exam. And probably tomorrow morning, there will be a information sheet about breast cancer. We're going to thank Miss Janice, who provided that to us. So it should be on the website tomorrow. And as also October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And we have Miss Lisa Streeter that she's going to give us some information about. Hi, Miss Streeter, about domestic violence and prevention. Now let's get to some housekeeping. If you have not done so, please join the Camp Springs Civic Association. The household membership is $20 and the business is $30. That's per year. And we need you to go to the website, which is www.campspringsca.org. You hit the Join Us tab, membership, and you can pay via PayPal. Put in your credit card information. I prefer credit card, don't put in your debit card information. Or you can mail it in to CSCA, P.O. Box 1071, Camp Springs, Maryland, 20757. As everyone knows that we were talking about how we financially, originally we were going to just have in-person meetings because of the financial burden, because we're in a deficit financially. But the Lord worked it out that we're doing the Zoom. But please, and we do have a donate button if you'd like to donate something, we would appreciate it. We need you to please check our website again to determine upcoming events. And for upcoming events, click latest news and you'll see all the different things that are going on in the community or within Camp Springs or people we partner with. This is an election year for Camp Springs as well as nationally. Ms. Beverly Taylor, she is our chair. John Bailey and me are committee members. We have executive office positions. It's the president, vice president, recording and correspondence secretary. So we are looking for people also for our different committees. I know the record is, I always say, let's work together to make our community the place we want to live in. There's a part for everyone to play. And we're also looking for neighbors who are interested in being captains of their streets or segment of the streets. This is to keep abreast of new neighbors, help pass out information. And just to let you know, this Saturday, October the 12th, from 11 to 3 p.m., they're having the Faith in Blue in our backyard. So please come out to support. It will be held at 7074 Allentown Road, right at Padgett's Corner. So you don't have to go far. So come on out to the Faith in Blue. Again, October 13th from 1 to 3, we're having a community cleanup. We are going to meet in front of the Royal Farm that is at 6210 Allentown Road. And then our last cleanup is in partnership with the county, which is Going Green with Pride. That would be on a Saturday from 9 to 11. We will meet in the parking lot of Second Avenue Thrift Store. That's at 6307 Allentown Road. And we are giving student service hours. If you cannot make it to either of these cleanups, take the initiative to clean up around your neighborhood. Go pick up some trash that's around your neighborhood. We have to remember that this is our home and we want it to look as immaculate as you keep the inside of your house. All of this is our home. So with that being said, we got a full agenda. I would like to welcome to the mic Corporal Miller to give us a public safety report. Corporal Miller? I know he on here. So, there you go.
Good evening. I'm on here. How you doing? Corporal
How
Miller,
you?
Division 4 Cops, if anyone don't know me. Let's see, got a couple stats for Camp Springs area. I looked up. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4 theft from autos in the Camp Springs area. 2 of them was in the 6100 block of Rayburn Drive, and 1 in Edgemere Drive. We also had 1 carjacking that was on the 5th of this month on the 4600 block of Alcorn Drive, which the detectives are still working on right now. Other than that, that's the only thing that's been going on that I see in Camp Springs. Anyone have any questions?
Well, yeah, thank you. I was
Uh-huh.
gonna say, you said it. Does anyone have any questions for Corporal Miller? If so, could you please raise your hand so we can see you? Mr. John, do you see any hands?
I do not.
Okay. Well, thank you, Corporal Miller, and good to see you. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Corporal Thomas. This is our
Hey, how y'all
Division
doing?
5. How you doing today?
I'm good.
Good. You have anything for us today?
Of course not. No, I'm playing. Hey, y'all, I'm Corporal Thomas. I'll be filling in for Corporal Ponak. As y'all, I believe y'all know he retired. So I left my work cell phone number and email that y'all can reach me in the chat. That way I don't have to repeat it like 3 times. But so I'm gonna go back to September because I know we missed September meeting. So the total I'm gonna give y'all the total numbers on my crime report from September 1st to today. We had a total of 14 theft from autos, and that's from different streets: Mansfield, Coolidge, Westchester, Old Branch Avenue, and surrounding streets. Had a total of 5 stolen vehicles. They wasn't directly in the Camp Springs area, but it's in neighborhoods around Camp Springs, like Fisherman Court, Runnymede, Chesterfield Drive, Temple Hill Road. We had a total of 2 breaking and enterings. One was residential, one was commercial, in which the commercial burglary, the suspect was arrested. We had 2 robberies. One was a citizen robbery on the 6800 block of Coolidge Drive. And second robbery was at the Truist Bank. They actually attempted to rob the bank, but ended up
Sorry, but they attempted to rob the bank, but what happened?
somebody muted me. Sorry about that.
Okay.
But they attempted to rob Truist Bank, but they instead they robbed one of the clients that was in there. and fled unknown direction. I believe that's still being investigated. We also have had one carjacking, and that was on the 10th of September, the 8600 block of Temple Hill Road, in which the victim stated that the suspect pushed her and took her vehicle. And that's all I have to report. And that robbery occurred on September 25th.
A lot.
I mean, yeah, it's dating back from September 1st, so
So,
and theft from autos definitely increased. So what I've seen on a lot of the theft from autos, a lot of people still leaving their purses in plain view. They still leaving laptops and everything else that people like stealing, like AirPods and stuff like that. So please, 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 if you could keep your valuables in your trunk, glove department, it'll save it'll save a lot of theft from auto reports. And we also have steering wheel locks for anybody that needs steering wheel locks. Just shoot me a text or send me an email.
and he put his information in the chat. So if you need one of those. Are these still the Kias and the Hyundais, or they
Majority.
branched out? Okay,
Majority Kias and Hondas.
okay.
It was like one Dodge and I forgot the other mate. I think it was like an Acura. But it was majority Kias and Hondas. And I also want to introduce somebody that's new to our unit. We got Sergeant Chris Smith, who should be logged in. Which is gonna be a very valuable asset to our group. So I let him introduce himself real quick.
Hello, how you all doing, community? As Wayne just now explained to you also, Corporal Thomas, I'm newly appointed sergeant here in the CU unit, and I'm excited to be here. If you all need anything from me, I just want to, take the time to introduce myself. I'm not an unfamiliar face to Division 5. I've been down here for a while. I was previously assigned to patrol, and I recently just transferred over as of this week. So he's giving me some time to get myself accustomed to everything, but I'm homegrown, PG County raised, so I understand the dynamics of the community. I'm a big proponent of, creating an invested interest into the community. So I'm willing to work, give me a call if I need something. I know Wayne has been doing this thing. He ain't, so the squad is ready to go. I'm very adamant and optimistic that we can continue building bridges over here. So this is the place I wanted to be when I first came out of the department. So I'm excited to be here. And again, I'm going to pass out my phone number. So if y'all want to write it down real quick, you can write my information down. Phone number is going to be 240-564-0374. Again, that's 240-564-0374. So if y'all need anything directly from me, if anything's going on, I know that Wayne has it all covered for the most part. But if anything's going on outside of, him, I'm sure y'all probably know who Corporal Diggs is as well. I know we have a short unit. We're trying to get some more assets, some more bodies over here to help, because I know we do serve the largest division in the county. But again, that's no excuse. We want to make sure we're doing our best to support you all, support the community. And just as Corporal Thomas was advising, we do have to do a better job in spreading the word. I know that right now we have you all online, but just please put that information out to your friends, family, neighbors, everyone that you can reach out to and talk to, just so they are aware. Leaving these assets in your vehicles, the crime opportunities are there. They're going to take everything they can when they can. So just please secure your items as best you can. We're moving into the holiday season, so take advantage of the information and please push it out to your neighbors. So outside of that, if you have any questions of me directly, I'm willing to answer at least the things I can. And if not, I'm not going to take too much more of your time.
Well, thank you so much, and we're glad to have you. One question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you answer emails?
I do answer emails.
Can I get your email?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry if I didn't send it to you. So my email is going to be CR Smith1 at co.pg.md.us.
Thank you so much. Pleasure
No
meeting
problem.
you.
Absolute pleasure, guys.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Well,
So moving along, as we said, it is Domestic Violence Month. And I went to a really something, Ms. Streeter, you can correct me, but about over a month ago, I was at a presentation for domestic violence. And I was in the presentation, I thought I heard them saying that Prince George's County for the state of Maryland has the highest domestic violence cases.
President Taylor, thank you so much for inviting me to join your meeting this evening. Hello, community and distinguished guests. I'm going to address your question. I want to share a little bit about how we got here as an organization to do this work. Progressive Life Center, as we're commonly known in the community as PLC, we service children, youth, and families. And we have locations. We're headquartered in DC. We have offices in Prince George's, Montgomery counties, Baltimore, Delaware, and Pennsylvania. And in the Prince George's County office, we have several programs to include foster care, independent living. We have a kinship care program. We have one of the only kinship care programs in the state of Maryland. And that's when one family member is taking care of another's loved one in the family. We also have family preservation. And as our social workers were going out to visit families to connect them with resources and services, there was this undercurrent that they were experiencing. And so, you know, as we processed what was happening with the reports that our social workers were experiencing, it was domestic violence. And so my regional director sprung into action, found some funding through the Department of Justice, Office on Violence Against Women, and that's the grant that we operate to do this work. Our work that we do at Progressive Life Center is culturally specific. So what that means is we are addressing the issue within the African American community. I'm a 70s girl, so I will say Black, but in the African American community. So the work that I do is an education prevention program. We connect with the faith-based community. We connect with civic associations, community-based organizations, other provider groups, teaching them how to recognize domestic violence as they're going out to service families. And we recently added the LGBTQ+ community with this educational piece. To address your question, yes, Prince George's County has one of the highest numbers of fatalities in the state of Maryland. So let me kind of dissect this data a little bit. Let me go back to 2020. In the state of Maryland, we had 56 fatalities. Out of that 56, and this is 2020, Prince George's had 12 fatalities. Baltimore City and Baltimore County combined had 10. In 2021, the state of Maryland had 58 cases of domestic violence. Out of that, now this is COVID, Baltimore County and Baltimore City had 23 combined in fatalities. Prince George's County had 9. In 2022, Prince George's County had 6. Baltimore County had 18. And the state of Maryland in 2022, we had 56 fatalities. 2023, now we're kind of shifting out of COVID. We had
CV risk and lost weight. In studies, the majority of people reached an A1C under 7 and maintained it. I'm under 7. Ozempic lowers the risk of major cardiovascular events such as stroke, heart attack, or death.
Could you please put yourself on mute? Sorry about that.
2023, the state of Maryland had 38 cases of fatalities. Prince George's had 12. Baltimore City, Baltimore County had 10. And so we have high numbers in this, out of this, we're one of the highest trending jurisdictions in the state of Maryland. That's why this work is extremely passionate for me. It's important that we do this work collectively. Can anybody tell me, can anyone unmute and tell me the definition of domestic violence or what you think it is? Anybody want to take that on?
Well, I was a victim of it, and it's just when your partner or your spouse physically harms you.
Ms. Tony, thank you for that. So domestic violence, yes. Domestic violence, how we're coining it now, that term is anyone who lives in the household. So it could be husband and wife, you know, partner violence. It could be father and son, daughter and mother, grandmother and grandchild. So it's anyone who's cohabitating in the household. We specifically label intimate partner violence as individuals who cohabitate, who are intimately involved, or prior, who have had a prior relationship. That's intimate partner and dating violence. And so we kind of segregated the term because we wanted to give the difference between the household violence to the intimate partner violence. And so this is an epidemic within the Black community, and Black women are suffering higher than our counterparts within the Latin community, the Latino community, the Asian community, and others. We're losing our lives. And it's so important that we gauge each other. Now, who remembers the saying, what goes on in this house stays in this house? You either heard your grandmother say it, or your parents, your mama said it. You know, we were taught the family secrets stays in that house. And so what I'm inviting Camp Springs Civic Association is to learn more about how to support one when they're going through family violence, domestic violence. On November 2nd, I'm going to send a flyer out to President Taylor, but I'm hosting a bystander training for the association and the community to learn more about how you can support your neighbors, your co-workers, your family members in a safe way. oftentimes we want to be quick to say, why are you in that relationship? Why are you staying with so-and-so? And so we know it takes at least 7 times for a woman to leave and come back to that relationship, leave and come back before she finally leaves. Here's what we also know. Sometimes we never leave a relationship. And so what we want to ensure that whatever you do, whether you leave a relationship, because that's the time when the fatality is at its highest peak, is when one is trying to leave. And so we talk about safety planning. We talk about believing her, not judging her. And even when you go and come back, or one leaves a relationship and comes back, we don't question why. We're there to support them in their time of need and to be a listening ear. Again, we know individuals who have stayed in a relationship their whole life. And what we want to ensure, if you're going to stay, we just want you to be safe. If you know Friday nights, so-and-so, tends to turn up a little bit, then that's the time that you might need to go out and hang out with your girlfriends, or go bake a cake in the kitchen. Find ways to be safe during those abusive moments. Any questions? Because I know I've said a lot. I'll pause for a minute. Mr. Harrison.
How you doing, Ms. Streeter? Welcome to our meeting.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. I just wanted to say, it's not only, I'm listening to you, it's not only females who go through domestic violence. I was in a violent relationship before where I did nothing wrong and kept getting beat on, and I had to leave. So I just want to be clear that it goes both ways. And the reason I say is for my children. And but that was too much for me to take. Nobody knows this, but now I'm saying it. But I just want you to know that it goes both ways. Not just the woman, it's also the men who be abused too. I'm proof of that.
Mr. Harrison, thank you for sharing that. Yes, the statistics state that 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men are in abusive relationships. And so we know that 1 in 7 for men, we just know that that's underreporting. We know that number is much higher. So I truly appreciate your transparency and for sharing that. You're absolutely right. I want our families to be healthy. I want our families to be harmonious. And we need to talk about this issue so that we can get to a healthy state. We know that violence that goes on in the home doesn't just stay there. It spills out into the community. And so, as I stated, I'm hosting a forum for Camp Springs Civic Association and community on Saturday, November 2nd. It's virtual, so you can stay in your bedroom slippers and just log in. And I have a powerful, powerful trainer. For those that attend, we are giving certificates of attendance. And so in addition to that, as Ms. Taylor stated, that this is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and Progressive Life Center has partnered with Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity, the Prince George's alumni chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity, as well as First Baptist of Highland Park. And this forum is scheduled on October 19th, next Saturday, at Highland Park Church. What we're doing is I've been doing this work since 2016. And so we have to involve the community so that we can reach the masses. And so what we're inviting this particular form, we want organizations, if you're a part of a membership organization, if you are a part of a fraternity, sorority, all municipalities, we need to elevate this conversation. We know if you are a part of an organization, you have a constituency. And so we want to work with you, with your member base, to elevate again this conversation. If you have a website, we would like for you to put something on it that talks about that offers resources and services. Because a lot of times if you're I'll use the term victim. I don't like that word, but I'll use it in this state, because until you seek help or until you seek a way out, you're still a victim of the perpetrator. And so I could go on and on and on, and I won't, because I'm going to see you all on November 2nd. And I thank you again, Ms. Taylor, for inviting me to introduce myself and to introduce the work that I do.
It is
And
it is at 9, right? 9
is it
a.m.
not
Wasn't it 9 a.m.?
9
I can't
a.m.?
Wasn't it?
I
I
think
can't
it's at
remember.
9:30.
Oh, 9:30. Okay.
It's at 9:30. I want everybody to get up and get at least their first cup of coffee and then join me for their second cup of
Okay.
coffee.
This forum is very important because it's just not talking about domestic violence. They're giving you signs that you need to, what's the word I'm trying to use? You know, you need to know the signs
Red
of,
flags.
yeah, say it again, Ms. Streeter.
The red flags of
Yes, that's the word. Yes, the red flags for
domestic violence.
violence. Because even though people try to hide it, there are red flags that are displayed that we could pick up on. And like she said, we don't want anyone to die because of domestic violence. So we would like, not to say you in it, but you never know, somebody else might be in that situation. And we want us to be able, because we are supposed to be our neighbor, help. We're supposed to be
Our
neighborly.
brother's keeper.
Yeah, thank you. We're supposed to be
Yes.
neighborly. So being neighborly, brother's keeper, we're gonna be looking out for one another. So let's get informed so we can make a difference in the community.
So, Ms. Taylor, I will have that flyer to you sometime next week to disseminate.
Okay.
And meanwhile, I'm going to put the event, the October 19th event, in the chat. You can copy it and then paste it onto your browser to learn more about that event in the
Thank you
detail.
so much. We appreciate you coming out.
And you know this is Domestic Violence Month, so I'm going to run. I have another
Okay, no
event I'm
problem
going
at
to hop
all.
on to.
So
Thank
that
you
it worked
all.
out, didn't it? It worked out well. Doing
Yes.
online, huh? Thank you so much.
Mr.
And
Bailey, it's good to see you.
You as well. Very good to see you as well. Have a great one.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Mr. Bailey did send me today, October the 10th, is World Mental Health Day also. So it's a lot going on, everyone. Thank you again, Ms. Streeter. Have a great one. Be safe out here.
Bless everyone. Thank you.
We got Ms. Riddick from the Department of Public Works and Transportation out of the Office of Engineering and Project Management, and Mr. Paul Curling also. And they're going to give us some information about getting speed humps, the process, and all. You ready?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to share, if I can, share my screen.
Okay. Okay.
You should be good now.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I have a quick presentation that I would like to share with everyone. Good evening. Thank you, Ms. Taylor, for that good introduction. My name is Kenya Riddick, and I'm the Senior Traffic Engineer for the Department of Public Works and Transportation, Office of Engineering Project Management. Also here with me is my colleague, Mr. Paul Curling. He is one of our techs that worked on the project at Center Drive. I just wanted to give everyone a brief overview of our neighborhood traffic management program. So our neighborhood traffic management program is not just all about speed humps. I know a lot of people think traffic calming, the first thing they think about is speed humps, but our neighborhood traffic management program is more of a goal to just promote traffic calming within the community through different measures. So our goal is through the program is to improve livability by reducing speed through different methods and different forms of traffic calming measures, and to also make it safe for all modes of transportation. So it's not just about the cars and the people that are walking. We have to include the bikers, the school children, and additionally, other modes of transportation such as the bus and things of that nature. So it's us creating a fair and equitable process for traffic calming for all users, for all road users, I should say. So to explain our neighborhood traffic management program goals and process, one of the main things that we try to do is get community involvement. So how we start the process is we get a request. So a request will come in from a HOA, a civic association just as this, or a council member to our department. And in the initial part of that request, we will go in and look and see if the street qualifies. The things that we look for in our first initial steps to our process are the length and the roadway type. There are different types of roadways. There are 3 types of roadways that we have: are collectors, primary residentials, and secondary residentials. So we look at those 3 types of roadway and see which one will qualify for our program. Collector roadways, due to the high volumes of traffic and speed, do not qualify for the neighborhood traffic management program to get level 2 measures, but they still qualify for level 1 measures, such as speed trailers, additional signing, and marking. But level 2 measures, which are considered speed humps and other traffic calming, it does not qualify for. We look at mostly our residential secondary streets. Those are streets that will have a speed limit of 35 miles per hour or less, and that you will see most of your homes and school zones and things of that nature, and most of our smaller roadways and streets. After we go through the qualifying process of seeing if your roadway meets the criteria of the length, which has to be more than 1,500 feet, and the type of roadway between collector, primary, and secondary residential, we move on to data collection. When we go into data collection, we look at different things such as the speed, the volume, if a road has sidewalk, some of the trip generators such as parks and schools, in addition to a store or things of that nature along your roadway. And we analyze and put these things in our point-based system. So everything from the data collection gets scored. So once we do our scoring process, a roadway has to meet the criteria of having 60 points or more through the traffic volume, through the crash. We also collect crash data through the sidewalks, and through sorry, I'm trying to remember everything. It's
Put through traffic.
speed. Oh, cut through traffic as well. Thanks, Paul. And also
What's it
cut through
called? I'm
traffic.
sorry. Okay, cut through traffic.
And cut through traffic as well. So it all gets points based on those things that we look at. And once we get the points, then we go through with our analysis. Oh, we also go and view the roadway too. I don't want you to think we're just sitting in the office analyzing your roadway from afar. We also go view the roadways for the needs. So
Oh yeah,
once
we also look at, I'm sorry, we also
go
look at sight distance issues, as if there's a hill crest or sharp turns as well that can create a visibility issue when motorists are traveling.
And that's why I have Paul here to keep me honest. Yes, we also do look at site distance to make sure that if you do have a sharp turn or a curve or hills, vertical curve, that we take that into consideration as well. So after we look at all these things and we put this information in our point score system, that's when we move forward into seeing what type of traffic calming measures your roadway would qualify for. So every roadway qualifies for level 1 traffic measures. So level 1 traffic measures, like I said, are speed awareness program, pavement marking, signings, which could be additional speed limit signs. It could be curve warning signs, anything of that nature. When it comes to markings and signage, every roadway qualifies for that. It's the level 2 measures when we get to you having to need that 60 points or more, in addition to being a primary or secondary residential. That's where you can qualify for your speed humps, your one-way streets, your roundabouts, turn prohibitions. It's the floodgates open once you get to the point of scoring higher than 60 points or more. One of the things that we have used more in recent has been speed humps. That's been our level 2 traffic calming measure that we utilize. If your roadway scores above 70, that's when we look at level 3 measures, which is like full roadway closures, diagonal diverters, and different types of traffic calming on the roadway, such as and roundabouts for that as well. So that's kind of how our program works when it comes to analyzing and looking at the roadway for traffic calming. So why we're here today is because when a roadway does reach that level 2 traffic calming measure and it has the 60 points, that qualifies it for level 2 measures, we then come to the community and request a meeting. We request a meeting with the community because we want to make sure this process is as equitable as we can make it. So it's not just us saying, hey, your roadway qualifies for speed humps, we're going to put them in. No, we come to the community, we gather a petition and come to the community and say, we've done our due diligence in collecting the data. Now it's you all's turn to tell us if you actually want speed humps or any of these traffic calming measures on your roadway. So this gives a list of how our point score system works. So you can get, just to go back a little bit, 30 points for volume, a maximum of 30 points for volume, a maximum of 35 points for speed, 35 points maximum for crashes, 5 points for elementary school or playground, 5 points for a major pedestrian generator, such as, like I said, a store or a library or anything that you may be walking to as a clubhouse or anything like you might have in your neighborhood. You get points for sidewalk, sight distance, and cut through. So I did want to show you this. So sorry, back to the equitable part of this. When we're placing speed humps like we would be on Center Drive if it's approved, we want to make sure that we come to the community and not just say we did this study. We also want to get your approval as a community for us to go in and place these humps. So this is when we come to you, we set a meeting, come to you as to you all as a community and say, this is our proposed hump locations. We kind of let you know where the humps will flow and how it will look. That's the little red squares would be where we want to place the speed humps along your street. And then we send out to the community liaison a petition. So you have to get 60% of the homeowners that live on a specific street to sign the petition. And we do this, like I said, so it's equitable. So it's not just us saying, yes, you qualify for humps, so we're just going to place them the next day. But it's also a chance for us to come out into the community and say, we did our part. We just want to come out and make sure you are okay with these humps, because once we place them, they are not removed. So we want to make sure that everybody knows once we go out there and we do our work within the community to place these speed humps, we do not move them for any reason. So we showed this hump plan so the community can get a feel and everybody along the roadway can know exactly where we're placing these humps. So when you're signing off on the petition, you know exactly what you're signing off on. It also states in our petition on the first page, please everyone, if you're on Center Drive, look it over. You read the first page of it and it states that we do not remove the humps, that once the humps are placed, that they're there for life. Even if we come through and do a resurfacing, we'll put the humps right back exactly where they are. And also that you need 60% of the homeowners that actually live on Center Drive to sign off on your petition.
Also, if they're not, the homeowners, renters are also allowed to sign the petition form as well.
Yes, yes, they are. Anybody who's habited in the home at the current moment, one signature per household is sufficient. And that's how we move forward then to send the plan to our Office of Construction, and that's when after the Office of Construction gets the after we get the petition and send it over to Office of Construction, they can go out and start constructing the speed humps. I also wanted to state that in addition to placing speed humps comes signing. So that's another thing we want you to know, that not only will we be placing speed humps, but also signs. So it won't just be just humps in the roadway, but it might be some signs in or around people's yards in the neighborhood as well. Okay, so I also want to show what a petition would potentially look like, if everybody can see. All right, so our petition would, it looks just like this. This is a version of a petition for Center Drive. Like I stated, it lets you know that humps are installed in a series adjacent to your residence, generally out of the property line and away from driveways. We steer away from all driveways to not impede
Excuse me,
that.
Ms. Riddick, the petition didn't come up.
Oh, it didn't?
No. And you have a question too from Miss Angel.
Yes. Let me try to share again. I'll accept any questions if you can unmute.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Roderick. My name is Angel, and I live in the vicinity of Center Drive. I'm actually on one of the side streets off of Center. And you were mentioning that the people on Center Drive have to sign this petition, so it has to be only Center Drive residents. It can't be the residents that are like on Lorraine that intersects with Center, or those residents. It's only Center Drive.
Yes, ma'am. It's only Center Drive due to the fact that the humps are directly on Center Drive. So we ask for those residents actually on Center Drive to sign the petition. We do value the support from residents outside of Center Drive, but the ones that are directly affected by anything that has to do with the humps, like placement or anything like that, are the ones that live on Center Drive. So it wouldn't be a situation where you would be like, oh, I want this hump removed because it's, in by my driveway or anything like that. So we just make sure that the residents on Center Drive know what they're getting into.
Okay, so I just was wondering, because I was like, what if some people, like you said 60%, I think. So if there's some people like, oh, we don't want it, then we won't get it. Is that
And
correct?
yes, ma'am. And unfortunately, that is a part of this process because we're trying to make it equitable between us and the community. When it comes to speed humps, it's one of, like I said, it's one of those things where, unfortunately, no, you're affected by it because you drive on the street, but you don't live on the street. So when it comes to placement, we want to make sure the people that live on the street, that would the humps would be, like I said, near their driveway, the signs would be near their homes and things of that nature, understand what they're getting into.
Yeah, because I had an accident right up there at the Sitco, and
Yes,
a
ma'am.
neighbor of mine's had an accident right up there at the Sitco, and neither one of us live on Center Drive.
Yes,
But the
ma'am.
way the cars speed up and down, like we have elderly people on the street that want to walk up and down the street as well, and they're too afraid to do it because we don't have sidewalks, and
Yes, ma'am.
our street is not paved to the capacity that other streets are, nice and no potholes and no dips and different things like that. That's on Center, so as well as like other parts of our neighborhood. But it was just something that I was thinking about in case my neighbors start saying, well, why couldn't we get it? I can let them know that, hey, on the meeting, at the meeting during the call, we were told that if 60%, they don't get 60% of the vote or 60% of the signage they need, that we cannot have this.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's just something to keep in mind for my neighbors, because I don't have a problem with it, even though I don't live on Center. I
Yes, ma'am.
drive it, and I've had accidents right there in that area. So
Mhm.
it's not a nice place, and kids are catching the bus there too. So hopefully everybody on Center, and Delonte, you know this for a fact because you live on there. You can vouch for me that it's not a safe street anymore.
Yeah, also can I add that even though humps will be placed possibly on Center Drive, it doesn't stop speeding 100%. We have a lot of residents, constituents who've had humps placed on the roadways, and they think that the speeding comes to a complete stop. It does curb it significantly, but you will probably witness a few drivers here and there who like to speed up in between the humps. So just like to prepare, some of the residents of the street in question and let them know that possibly that sometimes you will witness that. But there will also be a significant cut in traffic because there are some people who can't stand speed humps. So they'll probably try to find another route to go into, cut through or go through the neighborhood. So you may witness a shift in a traffic pattern on that roadway.
But we are hoping that it's always our hope that when we place these speed humps, they are a huge deterrent in the traffic pattern when it comes to motorists utilizing the roadway. So we do hope that shift does happen. In addition to that shift happening, we have seen a good I do want to say a good trend at the beginning of all this where people will slow down, and it's a thing with when people are familiar drivers, they tend to utilize the roadway as they know best. That's how I could kind of place that. So but we do see a trend sometimes of that happening, and we always say the best thing for any type of additional issues when it comes to speeding is definitely request additional enforcement. I see I have another hand.
Yeah, Mr. Tim.
Hey, yeah, this is great to see this. I don't live on Center, but I live down in the valley below Center. If these humps are put in, then since the humps, we also have humps on Middleton Lane, so the only way into the neighborhood will be by roads that have speed humps. But I certainly am in favor because I drive Center Drive a lot, and particularly the location of hump number 2, which is like a crest of a hill that is probably the most dangerous spot on Center Drive. But I support this, and hopefully the residents on Center Drive will support it too.
Thank you. There go Ms. Wigfall. You have to unmute, Ms. Wigfall. Ms. Wigfall, you have to unmute. Go up in the corner of your device and hit unmute. And while she's working on that, I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
So so Department of Transportation, you actually you take the petition and walk to each home to get the signatures? How does that work?
No, ma'am. So for the signatures, that's when we kind of give it to you all as a community to go out and get the signatures. It's our policy that once we do the study, we don't like to get involved in trying to push speed humps. It's based on the need of the community. So if you all as a community come back to us and say, yes, we do want speed humps, you go and take this the petition out and get the signatures needed. That's kind of how that works. Like I said, we kind of try to stay unbiased after we kind of do our due diligence by doing the score sheet and leave it up to the community to make the decision. So we don't want to make it seem like we're pushing the community to make a decision for speed humps.
So this document that you have right here, do you give this to us and
Yes,
then
ma'am.
we go around and get signatures?
Yes, ma'am.
So you give us this and it's a attachment to it to get the signatures, and I guess it has where they put their address or whatever, so you know they actually live on Center Drive.
Yes, ma'am. So we have
Okay.
I'll go down to the rest of the petition. Can everybody see the petition?
Yeah, now I can see it. Yeah, I was wondering about that too. Yeah, I
Okay.
see it.
So we in the petition, you sign you print your name, you say your street address. So we just need the home number. So you just say if you rent or own, and then the signatures, because we do verify the signatures. We have a system that we can go into and verify the property owner and the address. So that's how we verify signatures. So that's why we ask if you rent or own, because if you rent, we understand that the signature is going to be different. The person signing is going to be different than the actual person living in the home. So that's the only reason we ask that question. We're not trying to get in anybody's business or call anyone out. We just want to know. So when you do sign, we could just verify that it's just not the property owner signing for that property.
And also I have to add that it's only one signature per household.
Yes.
So it looks like Ms. Wigfall, she said she couldn't unmute. So based off of the 26 residents that actually live on Center Drive, I take it we need, because I did the Look, I think I did the math. We need, I guess 16 signatures, because it's 15.6.
Yes.
Okay, 16 signatures on Center Drive in order to actually have this to occur.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
okay.
And
So,
we don't count unoccupied houses as well. Some people worry about, sometimes there's some houses that are not occupied, and they think that's included in the 60%, which is not. So it's only the occupied houses, obviously.
Okay. So, but when you say this, because I think it's a couple of houses that are on Center Drive that are not occupied. How would you know that? Just asking.
Well,
Because we know it's a couple of them that's not occupied.
whenever the text will probably just go out, probably just to confirm.
Okay,
yes. Mhm.
okay, okay, okay.
Have a,
So this sounds like a winner. So you're gonna send this to us and and we got Mr. Delonte Harris and Ms. Wigfall who actually live on Center Drive, that they can go get some signatures.
Yes, ma'am. And after the signatures are collected, we would just need I guess someone to return the signatures to my office, like I said, for verification. And then we can go out and finish the rest of our work. So we're not done with this. So you might see us in the community, in the neighborhood doing other things, but this is kind of the I guess the main point before we get to the part where we can go out there and place the humps.
So the question in the chat is, what is the timeline to get signatures and then to get the work done?
Well,
So-
we encourage you to get the signatures as quickly as possible.
Mhm.
Basically, our construction team takes each project as received. So I'm not too sure. I'm not Kenny. I don't know if you know either how many humps that they have on the list to be installed, but
Well,
yeah. So I would suggest as soon as you can get the list to us, we can contact our construction department and see how far along they are, and maybe get an ETA on the installation of the humps.
Well, also, Paul, you're forgetting we're October. That's another thing I wanted to state. So, construction season usually falls between May and October because sometimes we can go into November depending on how cold it gets in the ground. The temperature of the ground plays a large role in this when you're pouring asphalt. The ground has to be a certain temperature in order to pour the asphalt. So because we are getting to the end of construction season, depending on how long it takes to get the signatures, we might have to roll into next construction season, which will begin in May. So that's kind of how that works, because like I said, the ground has to be a certain temperature. Hopefully we keep the warm weather so we can move forward with installing the humps during this season, but it just varies based on the temperature and the weather outside when construction season may end.
But like if like you send this to me, I make
Mhm.
sure they get it and they can go out tomorrow and start getting signatures
Yes, ma'am.
and we can move forward.
Yes.
Even if I'll just say worst case scenario, it would have to be made, but you have all the information you need from us and it will go forward. Let's say if it's not warm in May.
Yes. So how would it work then? As soon as like I said, as soon as I get the signatures, we verify signatures in our system. Then tech will go out and do the preliminary marking for the signs and the location just to check utilities and things of that nature. And then we'll send it over to our construction department, and then they'll put you on the list. I'm not currently sure how many I've sent over to them this spring that they've gotten done, this spring and fall that they've gotten done, but it's a little list that every street goes on that does qualify, and then our construction team goes down that list and installs the speed humps based on that.
Miss Angel, you have another question?
Yes, just one more.
Yes,
Is the
ma'am.
CSCA required to sign that petition as well? Someone in
No.
the CSCA or no?
No, ma'am. It's
Okay.
just the homeowners.
Just the homeowners. Okay, sorry about that.
I
Thanks.
think Mr. Delonte had a question also.
Oh crap! I have a question. It's a simple question. Does that map? Can we get that map that's included with the petition? So if I go around and get the signatures, I can show them where the proposed sites are for the speed bumps, because That'll make a difference.
Yes, as soon as this meeting is over, I can send over not only I send over the whole presentation and the petition. So I send everything over. We are a very forward-facing organization where we send everything to the community that you would need to be able to go out there. Like I said, we personally just don't go out there because we don't want to seem like we're pushing the community to make a decision. We allow you guys to do that, but at the same time, we still want you to have everything to go out and be prepared to discuss.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Look, this is a big question.
Yes, ma'am.
There are other residents on other streets complaining about people speeding through the community.
Mm-hmm.
So how does the process begin?
So I'm so glad. I love getting this question. So because you guys have a civic association, it can go through you all. So usually it goes through an HOA. Sometimes residents don't have an HOA, so it would go through their council member's office would be the secondary place for it to go through. But because you have a civic association, which it is a community group, we will accept a letter to our division chief stating, Mr. Hadi Qayyum, stating that you would like us to perform a study for speed humps on said street. We ask that it's only at a time, 2 to 3 streets at a time if you're going to send a list, because the thing about it is if you send me a list of 40 streets, it can take a very long time to get that studied. So we do ask that, you send the list with the highest needs first, the location with the highest needs first, so we can get the study done. The study takes up to 6 months because we have to do a data collection, and the data collection is done during the school year through a contractor that we have. It's not done in-house, so that can take a little while for us to send out the information to the contractor. The contractor then has to go place the rubber tubes on the road, collect the data for 3 days, then then organize the data for us to be able to digest it, send it back to us, and then we have to analyze it. So it can be a lengthy process. So I would not want somebody to send me a list of 40 locations because it would take me a while to get through that list. We ask that you pick your top 3. After we do your top 3, then you can keep sending them after that. But we do ask that everyone's mindful of just the schedule that it takes to complete these types of projects.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
No problem. Any other questions?
Did you see any more hands? I don't see any more hands.
Can I also add just one more thing?
Oh, go ahead, Paul.
Just to let your constituents know that's on this call that we don't deal with just speed humps. So if you have any kind of traffic related issues or concerns, you can contact me. I'll put my email in the chat, or you can contact 311 system. Anything that to deal with pavement markings, no parking signs, dumping issues, no dumping signs, things of that nature.
Okay. You said paving, marking, dumping,
Yeah.
signs, and what was the third one?
No parking signs.
No parking.
Like
Okay.
if any of you have an issue when you're at an intersection and you can't see due to parked vehicles at the corner, one of our technicians will go out. If they see that there's an issue there with vehicles blocking the line of sight and making it difficult to enter an intersection, then we will create a parking prohibition.
Okay. Thank you so much. We appreciate you coming out and explaining the process to us, and we look forward to working with you. We're gonna get this done with a quickness and get some signatures. So thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Thank you for having us, and everyone have a great evening.
You too. Thank you so much. Okay, next we have a local pharmacist in our community that we just love, and he does such a fantastic job for us, but he's having some issues, and we're gonna have a little quick chat with our doctor. Well, I'm gonna say it, Modulogby. Did I say it right? No.
That was close.
But call him Dr. M or Dr. Howard.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Good evening, everybody. And first of all, I just want to thank you as a community for rallying around me at my desperate hour of need. I don't want to take too much of your time because I don't want to abuse the love that you have for me. but I just want to explain some things that are going on with me and my business in our community. Like Ms. Monique said, my name is Dr. Howard Majalagbe. I'm the owner of Allentown Discount Pharmacy in Camp Springs, Maryland. I opened the pharmacy 5 years ago to help take care of some of the needs in our community, especially for seniors and those who have no ability to pay for prescriptions. As we all know, the cost of prescriptions are skyrocketing. And if you do work for a chain or one of these big stores, there's little that a pharmacist can actually do to help you. But when you're an independent, you're your own boss, and you can help with the pricing and make it affordable the best way you can for the medications that you can actually afford. So when we started our business 5 years ago, we marketed to all the clinics in the area. There's about 36,000 prescriptions that get written within 2-mile radius of our business as of the data that we collected in 2018. But what we noticed immediately after we opened our business was that we can fill like 20 prescriptions and never get paid for anything. So me being the owner of the pharmacy, I'm very concerned that we're working so hard, we're not making any money. So we reach out to our lawmakers in Annapolis. And we were told by the other groups of pharmacy owners that that comes with a risk. That comes with a risk because we are managed by something called the Board of Pharmacy. These Board of Pharmacy comprise of 5 to 7 members, all chosen by the governor of the state. And on that board, we have people who represent the interests of big chain drugstores like CVS, Giant, and Walgreens, occupying about 4 or 5 seats. And we have one person representing the small business owners, occupying just 1 seat. And that person was chased away last year. So we have nobody protecting us on that board. So effectively, what happens is when you go out there to talk to lawmakers about the poor reimbursements and the poor treatments of our customers, these big chain corporations like the insurance companies who own these big pharmacies, they now utilize the Board of Pharmacy as a weapon against small business owners. So I noticed immediately after I did my testimony in 2019 that when the Board of Pharmacy comes into my business, they spend unnecessary amount of time looking through my records. Typically, a board inspection takes anywhere from 35 minutes to about 2 hours. They spend 6 hours in my store looking for different things that are not there. And they make a lot of inappropriate comments, and some of the things that they complain about are that we feel a lot of controlled substances. Now, these medications are medications that patients are bringing from emergency rooms after having cesarean sections, cancer treatments, broken bones, accident victims, dental surgeries, vascular surgeries. If you know the city of Camp Springs very well, and you look around our neighborhood, you can see there's so many private practices and clinics, and we're not too far from Andrews Air Force Base that services veterans. So every year, the reason why we do an inspection in a pharmacy is basically to make sure that, number one, the pharmacy has all their licenses up to date, and they're compliant with all state and federal laws. I am a Christian. I'm proudly one. I've been in pharmacy for 20 years. I've been a pharmacy manager for Walgreens. I've been a pharmacy manager for Giant. I was the head pharmacist for the HIV clinic in DC called Whitman Walker on 14th Street. I was the head pharmacist for Unity Upper Cardozo Pharmacy. So I'm very well versed in my 20 years experience, understanding what the federal and state laws are. So when these people come in and they ask questions, why we're filling prescriptions for those who have cesarean sections, I find that to be a little bit absurd. Because the only reason why patients utilize our business, I don't know if any one of you have noticed this, if you have anybody that has a baby or something, they can't get even their dental prescriptions filled at CVS. Has anybody experienced that? So we have all these patients who are going all over the place, who have nowhere to take their prescriptions to. So when the board came and asked me questions about that, I pointed them to the rules and regulations as prescribed by the State Board of Pharmacy. We have something called a pharmacy law book right here. It is the book that we practice from. There is no ifs and buts. If a patient brings a prescription into my store, my job is to make sure that it is legitimate, it is safe for the patient, it is a reasonable prescription, and if all of those things are satisfied, then our job is to fill the prescriptions. So the board began to come in and out of my pharmacy every year, which I had no problem with. We always pass our inspections with flying colors. Then I noticed that since we're not making any money, there are so many things that we as a business have to do. We have to look at programs that are available in the community that we can utilize that will bring in food for me to feed my family. Part of my expertise is in infectious disease, like I said, HIV and hepatitis C. And part of my training there involves taking care of patients that are addicted to illicit drugs. So in our area in Camp Springs, there is no HIV specialty there. But we have a lot of people with mental health problems, anxiety, depression, and we have a lot of people that are coming into our state that are addicted to opioids. There are very few outpatient treatment centers around that area. So we decided to do our research and sign up and become part of them because number one, we're getting people off of fentanyl and all these hard drugs. We're providing treatment that allows them to be able to be reintegrated back into the society. And we also ensured that we took at least 7 continuing education trainings for these services. Well, unfortunately for us, the Board of Pharmacy came again to do an inspection a couple of years ago, and they told us basically that we are not allowed to fill prescriptions that are controlled substances for patients. My question to them was, I would like it to be in writing or something in the law because I don't think it is ethical for me to see people with broken bones, gunshot wounds, and people who are addicted to opioids and need treatment, and we don't treat them. The inspector goes on to tell me, ask me a very ridiculous question. He's a white man, by the way. I have nothing against white people. And I love everybody and I respect everybody. His question was, if my mother needs a prescription for pain medication, will I give it to her? Well, my mother just had a stroke a few days before that. She's had about 4 strokes. So that's a very sensitive thing for me. And I told him, I said, we don't give medications to patients, but if doctors prescribe medications for patients, including my mother, we will dispense it because that's what the law says we should do. Maryland law says I'm not allowed to discriminate against a person's prescription based on how I feel. I have to have a good excuse not to fill your prescriptions. So there were a couple patients who were sitting down who heard some of these statements, and they asked me a question after the inspection was over. They said, do you mean to tell me that you let these people talk to you like that? And I said, well, they always talk to me like that. I mean, they're coming from the state. I don't want to say anything to them, so it doesn't look like I'm trying to find a way to circumvent them doing their job as inspectors. And those people actually pointed out to me. I grew up in Nigeria. I was born American, by the way. I was born in New York. So in Nigeria, government officials actually have a lot of sway. Regardless of what they say, you're just expected to be quiet and just take the insult and just let them go, do whatever they want to do and then leave. So that started in 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024. So 2024, they came for an inspection on January the 2nd, 2024. The laws in this book says that they are not supposed to come in an unreasonable time, which is the first working day of the year. Anyhow, they came in, did their inspection, and I asked the first inspector, these are the comments that have been made to my pharmacy. Is this part of your inspection? Because I check all the rules. You are not allowed to talk to me that way. And she confirmed that when they come in, they're supposed to be professional. So a few days after that, the Office of Controlled Substance came in to do their routine inspections. And I decided to revisit some of the issues that have been discussed with me while they come to do the inspections. I pointed them to the laws, which the inspector turned his back against me and walked away. When I'm talking, he just walks away like I don't exist. When I show him my credentials and my training as a certified pharmacist, I have a doctorate degree in pharmacy, for crying out loud. This man just ignores me and continues to threaten me. He threatens to fine me. He threatens to get me into trouble. He threatens to deal with me like he's dealt with some other pharmacies in the past. And I keep asking questions. Which laws of the state am I violating? What exactly am I doing wrong? I'd like to be given what I'm doing wrong so I can make corrections. Obviously, there's no law that I'm breaking. There's no law that I'm violating. I just constantly get harassed in my business. So I began to think within myself, what exactly is going on and why is this happening to me? So I checked with other pharmacies in the state. Nobody is being harassed the way I'm being harassed. And the only difference between some of these pharmacies and me is that I'm the only one that is a person of color. And the number two difference is I'm the only one with specialty experience among those who testify in the state. So I decided to write in February, a letter to the Maryland Board of Pharmacy asking them to please take a look at this inspector and to take a look at some of the things that are being done to my business and please rectify it with immediate effect because it was beginning to affect my mental health. The Board of Pharmacy by law is required to respond to me within 3 business days maximum. They instead responded to me in April of 2020, accusing me of being a danger to the society and being a terrible influence to the community. In fact, the allegations I showed to my wonderful delegate, shout out to Delegate Woods and Ms. Marilyn Goins McCants. I showed all of these things to also different lawyers and different pharmacy owners who've been practicing at least 20 years before I got out of pharmacy school. The conclusion of every pharmacist that look at all the allegations they placed on my business is, what have you done to these people? We don't see anything in these allegations except the fact that these guys are out there to shut you down. So now I'm a simple person. I don't know what to do because I didn't grow up, like I said, in America. I came back to America in 2001. So I began to ask for advice what I needed to do to fight for my business. As I'm talking to you right now, my business is operating at a $200,000 loss. So these people accuse me of being a danger to society. I believe that I've been a gem to the society. I've been there to help my patients and my community out. When everybody in Walgreens gave all the hand sanitizers to those who came in first, our pharmacy was open for 4 hours after closing, making hand sanitizers for the community. We ensured that those hand sanitizers went only to the seniors in our community. For police officers and first responders, including nurses and other healthcare professionals, we gave those hand sanitizers for free. So when I look at all these things that are going on, I'm not understanding what politics they're trying to apply. So I reach out to Camp Springs Civic Association. I reach out to my delegate to explain exactly what is going on. So it sounds to me like somebody is racially profiling me and trying to kick me out. And you know the worst thing about this? They put me on something called a Mallinckrodt list, which prevents me from being able to purchase prescriptions that are controlled substances. So we have patients with broken bones. I had one last week that came with a cast in her hand. She had gone from one pharmacy to another. Nobody was going to fill the prescription. She needed Percocet 5-3-25, only 20 pills. She had been to a lot of pharmacies. She couldn't even open the door to my store. I am not allowed to help her. And even now, I'm not allowed to buy those prescriptions. So I'm bringing this out to the community because I'm outraged. I'm outraged that people like me do not have the chance to do our job as we're supposed to do. I'm outraged because patients that come to my store often have to pay $400-500 in CVS for $15 medications that I give to them. I'm outraged because these people that belong to the same programs that I work under, which helps patients addicted to opioids, nobody is being targeted or harassed except me. And the only person that is of color among them, for the most part, is me and another pharmacy owner. So I'm not understanding what crimes I've committed in opening a pharmacy and trying to help out my community. Because right now, I'm getting calls from doctors telling me their patients are crying because they can't get their medications filled. And you may want to ask me, how many patients do I really fill prescriptions for the uncontrolled substances? On average, we do about 7 prescriptions of controlled substances on a daily basis, just 7. When I was a pharmacy manager at the Walgreens in Waldorf, I actually also started my career at the Walgreens on Woodyard Road. We do at least 45 to 60 prescriptions a day for different patients that have pain.
Dr. Howard, we're gonna, I gotta get the judges on. They gotta go to another meeting. And so what Dr. Howard is explaining to you is that he needs our assistance. We have a letter that that we're trying to get everyone to sign with their name and where they live to say that we are supporting Dr. Howard. A lot of us use him as our pharmacist, and he's a pillar of the community, and we don't want them to drive him out. He has to go to court on November the 12th. And we're trying to, if some would like to also come out to be there with him, to support him, we would, you could shoot me an email. My email, I think most of you have it, is csca.mctaylor@gmail.com. And if you need, because we've been sending out the letter to get people to sign. He has copies of it also. If you stop by the pharmacy, you can sign the letter to support him. Like I said, he is a jewel to the community, and I don't understand why they're trying to drive out businesses. Prince George's County need businesses. We need to turn this around where the resident is footing most of the bill with taxes. We have commercial, and then you're trying to drive them out, and for unbeknownst to any of us. So I didn't mean to cut you off, but I got to get the speakers in, Dr. Howard, okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Last thing.
Say that, clear.
I just want you all to know, before God and man, I have not violated any laws nor broken any rules. So that's why I'm coming here to explain it. If you like to stop at the pharmacy, I can give you more details. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Please support him. He does an outstanding job. Without further ado, we have our circuit court judges. I believe the Honorable, I don't want to say Denise Roll. Hi, Judge Roll.
How are you?
I'm doing great, and yourself?
Wonderful.
Good. You're gonna start it, and then we're gonna have the other ones
Well,
speak.
I also have my colleagues on.
Yes.
And Judge Simpkins, are you here, ma'am?
I'm here, and good evening. You have some interesting things going on in your community. I love listening.
Yes.
But good evening to everyone.
And I think Judge Turner is on as well.
Yes.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. I've been listening as well, and been very intrigued by all the things that are going on in your community. So it sounds like a very tight-knit community. So that's terrific. And thanks for having us.
Yes,
Thank you
so
for coming.
Ms. Taylor, definitely thank you for having us. We just wanted to take just a little bit of your time just to talk about who we are and what we do, and the role that we play in your community. Judge um, Judge Turner, as well as Judge Simpkins and myself, and we have another colleague, Judge Johnson, who is not on with us this evening, but we are your circuit court judges. And as you all know, we have an election coming up, and it is very, very important. It is a critical election for our community, for our judiciary. And so we wanted to just share some information about ourselves and share some information about the importance of this race and the importance of voting in local elections and the importance of people in our community being informed about the individuals that they vote and elect to have leadership positions in our community. And so judges serve a 15-year term, which is a very, very long time for someone that may not be as experienced to take that position. We are in a contested election, which means that we do have someone running against us. And so whoever wins this race, whoever's successful in this race, they will be in that position until 2040. And it is our position that myself, Judge Rowe, Judge Simpkins, Judge Turner, Judge Johnson are the most credentialed, are the most experienced and the most qualified individuals on the ballot. But we're not asking you to take our word for it. What we really want you all to do is to do your research. Do your research and vote down ballot. Don't just vote for your president. Don't just vote for your senator. But again, also vote for judges that you believe have our community's best interests at heart and that are knowledgeable and able to do the work and the difficult work that judges do. So by the time we're off the bench, whoever wins this position, you'll have 4 presidents, 4 senators, 8 congressmen. And so it's just really, really important that people know about local elections, be engaged in local elections, because the truth of the matter is the closer you are to the bottom of the ballot, that's the closer you are to the individuals that we serve in the community. I will turn it over to my colleagues and let them talk a little bit about themselves, and then I'll say a little bit about myself, and we're here to answer any questions that you all may have.
Okay.
All right. Judge Simpkins or Judge Turner, go right ahead.
Simpkins.
All right. Well, again, good evening. I am Judge Sheree Nicole Simpkins, and it's a privilege and honor to serve as your Prince George's County Circuit Court Judge. With over 20 years of experience in public service, I do bring significant experience to the role of judge, and having spent 14 years as a prosecutor and over 6 years as a district court judge, most recently I was appointed to the circuit court bench for Prince George's County by Governor Wes Moore. As a prosecutor, I handled a wide range of cases, including homicides, child abuse, sex crimes, domestic violence, criminal matter, carjackings, drug matters, juvenile matters, the whole gamut of cases. I also, as my role as a district court judge, I presided over thousands of cases, ranging from civil to criminal matters, traffic matters, landlord-tenant matters, matters involving DPI and municipal infractions and things of that nature. I'm also an adjunct professor at Georgetown University and the University of Baltimore, where I teach and mentor future legal professionals. I graduated from the University of South Florida and Nova Southeastern Law School in Fort Lauderdale. And I am a proud member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, the Links Incorporated, and Jack and Jill of America. I am deeply committed to community service and community empowerment, and I have lived in Prince George's County for over 20 years, where I raised my 11-year-old daughter in hopes of a community where justice and fairness will prevail. And so I look forward to seeing you guys going down ballot at the polls. Come on down to the courtroom, see what we do, but we handle everything from termination of parental rights in the circuit court to homicides, to medical malpractice cases, to zoning cases, to you name it, we handle it. We handle juvenile matters. We handle divorce cases, custody cases, child sex abuse cases, carjacking cases. So our motto is that experience matters. And it's not just our legal experience, but it's also our learned experiences and our life experiences, our lived experiences. And so we hope that you would consider doing your research. If you want to read more about us, you can go to keepyourjudgespgc.com. All of our bios and information are located there. So you could read all about us. We do have someone who is running against us. I don't know if Judge Turner is going to touch on it, but there is a vetting process that we all had to undergo. I had to undergo it twice, being a district court judge and now a circuit court judge. But just a little bit about the process is that I know Judge Roll mentioned to you that we sit on the bench for 15 years, but how we get there is that we're vetted by, or how we got there is that we're vetted by at least 14 to 16 different bar associations made up of different lawyers and community members who will weigh in on our credentials and who we are, and they're looking for the legal temperament. The application turns out to be about 40 pages, and they delve into everything from our financial backgrounds, our family backgrounds, our professional and work backgrounds. And then we are vetted by those organizations who then write into the commission that the governor puts together, which is about 12 to 16 people that sit on that commission, and they go through our application, they go through our references, and we interview with them. And if you make it what we call onto the short list, then and only then do you meet with the governor. And then the governor will interview you, and then he will either select you and give you the nod, or he won't. And so we've all been vetted and have met with the governor, and we are the governor's choice. But what happens is that then we must be confirmed by you, the people. There's a law on the book that's very dated, but it states that anyone with a law degree, $50, lives in the state of Maryland, has been barred, and lives in our county for at least 5 years, can run against the seated judges. And so we are all of us are practicing. We're sitting on the bench as we speak. But that person can run against us, and the person that's running against us just graduated from law school and passed the bar 3 years ago. And so we each have over 20 years of experience. And we just hope that you do your research, and please understand, like Judge Rose said, we affect you most directly. So while you're voting for your president and your senator, we affect generations to come. And so not only do we affect you, but we affect your children and your children's children and your children's children's children. So it's just very important because we touch your life. And a lot of people think they won't get in contact or come in contact with the judicial system, but things happen, life happens, and we see all gamuts. So it could be that you were in a car accident. It could be that you are appealing something from the district court, or have been a victim of a crime, or have a civil dispute that you want to be handled in court. And so, like Judge Rose said, you do want someone that is of the community, that understands, has that lived experience, as well as the legal acumen. And so I'm going to turn it over to Judge Turner to tell you guys a little bit about himself.
All right, thanks, Cherie. I appreciate it. My colleagues said just about, they said it all. Just a little bit about myself. Again, my name is Donald Turner. I've been a judge for a couple of years now. I've been a public servant for over 25 years. I was born and raised in Prince George's County, so this is home for me. I went to Prince George's County Public Schools, grew up in Landover, graduated from Parkdale High School, University of Maryland, went to law school at the University of Virginia. I've been a state and federal prosecutor. I've been an inspector general for the county. I've done a lot of work before getting on the bench. I did a lot of work with police reform, police accountability, best practices, things like that within the county. I've also spent almost 20 years as an adjunct professor at Prince George's Community College. And I've also spent quite a few years as a volunteer coach with the First Tee Junior Golf Program. So all of us, we not only are we serving the community as judges, but we also give back in other ways. Judge Roll, I'm sure, will tell you a little bit about the mock trial program that she's involved with. And so all of us spend our spare time working, in the community, working with people, trying to better our community. As someone who grew up in Prince George's County, it's a tremendous honor and a privilege to be able to serve my community as a judge. When I became a lawyer, I decided when I was a teenager that I wanted to become a lawyer. And the reason for that is because I cared about justice. I wanted to make sure that justice was served in our society. And there's no better way than to make sure that justice is administered than to be a judge and to be able to mete that out in cases. So it's a real honor and a privilege for me, and it's especially an honor and privilege to do so in Prince George's County. So I'll with that, I'll turn it back over to Judge Roll. Thank you all.
All right. Thank you, Judge Turner, and thank you, Judge Simpkins. And just a little bit about myself. I too, like my colleagues, have over 20 years of legal experience. That experience includes being a litigator, being a judicial education administrator, which basically means that I was a judicial education trainer for the state of Maryland, responsible for training every judge and magistrate in this state. In addition to that, I was also a magistrate, actually the first foreclosure magistrate in Prince George's County, handling huge volume of foreclosure cases here. And then since January 2023, I've been a circuit court judge where I proudly serve the citizens of Prince George's County with integrity and respect. And we all love our jobs. And again, we are here to ask that you consider who you vote for. I'm a HBCU grad, I'm a mother, I am a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, active member in the community, just like the rest of my colleagues. So like Judge Turner said, I'm the judge liaison for the high school countywide mock trial program, member of several different organizations. But I'm not going to hold you all long. All of our information is on our website, and that is keepyourjudgespgc.com. You can also find information on our other colleague who's not here this evening, Judge Johnson.
Judge Roll, Judge Johnson was able to join us.
Oh, okay. Judge Johnson.
Hello, how y'all doing tonight?
How you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you.
You want to tell
a little bit about myself?
yourself?
Listen, I was about to read your bio, sir.
So thank you. I appreciate y'all, pinch hitting for me. I am a lifelong Prince George's County resident. I graduated from fine institutions in the county, Largo Senior High School. I eventually went to Howard University for undergrad and David A. Clark School of Law for my law degree. Practiced in Baltimore City and Prince George's County for about 10 years before joining the Department of Agriculture, doing all their appeal work. And in 2018, I was hired as a magistrate and served as a magistrate doing domestic matters, custody, child support, divorce, insurancy for about 5 years before I was appointed in January of last year. I think we're talking about our community. I'm a member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, and we are a organization of service. Also, myself and Judge Turner served on community legal services, which provides help in various domestic matters and foreclosure in the county. And I'm all about giving back. And if it hasn't been said, all of us who serve here, live here, know the county, and it's no better people to be on this bench than people that care about the members of the community, because we live here. And so we wouldn't be doing our job if we didn't treat your family like our family, which is make it fair, and people just want fairness and to be heard. And for that, I think we are all willing to give that when people come to the courthouse.
All right. Anybody have any questions for us about the process, about what we do? We can't answer any legal questions, but we can definitely answer any questions that you may have about our position in the court and in the role that we play in the community.
Okay. Let me go through and see if anyone has a question. I don't see any question. Well, we thank you all for coming out tonight to give us some insight on your background. Remember what they said, go to Keep Your Judges, pgc.com. You can review their bio. And as if they said, they have someone who's running against them. They just got out of law school a couple of years ago. And there's a law on the books in Prince George's County that only thing you have to do is have a law degree.
And $50.
And $50. So that's I'm gonna leave it right there.
Yeah.
So
well, last
everybody
thing we want to just say top 2, bottom 2. So when you get your ballot, we'd appreciate you consider voting for the top 2 and the bottom 2. And as you see Judge Simpkins, she's saying leave the middleman out.
Yeah, I appreciate you folks. I'm surprised nobody have questions. Don't stop me at Wegmans to ask me a question right now. Now was the time, right? But we appreciate you. And top 2, bottom 2.
Wait, hold on. Angel R may have a question. I see her hand raised.
Thank you guys for all that you do. And if it only takes $50 in a law degree, we are in a bad place. But hey, I appreciate it, and I know what it's all about. I had to do not just jury duty, but I had to, I was summoned to do grand jury duty, which lasted for a few months.
Yes.
I wasn't happy, but I learned a lot of things, and I'm just amazed at the work that you guys do, and just appreciate all that you do and the laws that some of the cases that I had to hear and some of the cases I know you guys hear, it's a lot, and it brought home a lot for me. But yeah, I'm glad to see you guys that are on the bench, and I really appreciate taking the time to give us a little background, more background about you, because when we look at those ballots, we don't get to see the real people that we're voting for. We just see names, and a lot of people don't know who you are. So thank you for being on here tonight to explain and let us see who we're voting for. So thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having us.
So much. Appreciate
and to
you all.
follow up with that, like you said, that it's your job. Those on the judicial is the most impactful, and a lot of us don't realize that because some are lifetime, and like you said, this is a 15-year term. And we need to do a better job of knowing and learning about our judges. And I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yes, all right. Thank you. It's been a great.
Thank you for
Thank you. I
coming out.
appreciate it.
Appreciate
Y'all take
you all.
care.
Y'all have
Be
a
safe,
good
everybody.
evening. I know y'all have
All
another
right.
engagement. Y'all have a good night.
All right, have a good
You
night.
too. Take care.
Wishing you the best.
Good night. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Appreciate you.
We received a request. We have one amongst us. I'm talking about you with the hand raised. Do you have a question for the judges? I believe they left. We have Ms. Sakia Goings McCant. She lives in Westchester Estates, and she is a candidate for the Prince George's County Board of Education for District 8. And she wanted an opportunity to introduce herself to the community. So, Ms. Goings McCant, You're on.
Thank you so much, Miss Monique. Good evening, everyone. As Miss Monique said, I am a resident of Westchester Estates, and an address in Westchester Estates has been my permanent address since I was about 3 years old. Through elementary school at Allenwood Elementary, middle school at Thurgood Marshall. Camp Springs is my home, so I'm really excited to come and talk to you all this evening. I will keep this very brief because I know the hour is late and people have other places to be. I am a career educator. As Ms. Monique said, I'm running for Board of Education here in District 8. And I had the privilege of being a teacher at my younger sister's alma mater, Crossland High School, for 4 years prior to my current role as interim director of school data and performance in District of Columbia Public Schools. And similar to as our judges just said, it is so incredibly important this election that we vote down ballot. School board is last, I believe, on every ballot in Prince George's County this year. We are the last person before you get to the ballot measures. And as they said, please, please, please take the time to do your research. As I said, I'm a career educator. I worked in Prince George's County Public Schools. I have worked from the classroom to, I joke and say, the superintendent's office. I do frequently have interactions with the chancellor in DCPS in my work role. Every single aspect that we are talking about in education, I've heard several things that people said tonight. We've brought up crime in the area. We've brought up issues with development, the issues that our businesses are having. Every single one of these things is related to not just how our schools perform, but how our schools are perceived overall. So whether or not other businesses come to our county, whether they're choosing to develop in our county, specifically in South County, because we know that's been an issue for years, a huge part of that is how our schools are perceived. And I don't know how many people on here, because I know we've got a lot of different people who choose different educational options for their children, and people who have children who've already graduated and grandchildren now. Our schools in Prince George's County are currently 3rd from the bottom in math and 4th from the bottom in ELA in the entire state of Maryland. And we can talk separately if you are interested about all the reasons why that might be. Despite all the amazing things going on in our county, we have a crisis. As I said, I will not keep you all much longer because I love this. This is my passion. This is my job. If you all want to talk more, I would love to. You can reach me at Zakia, ZAKYIA, for pgcps.com, and I'll put it in the chat later. It is wonderful to see you all and to be able to give you all a face to put with the name that you've probably seen driving up Allentown Road.
Wait a minute, Mr. Sakia. Wait a minute. Ooh, I'm spelling it wrong. I got excited. I'm trying to put it in so they can, if they want to learn more about you, ZAKYIA.
Yes, ma'am. I just put it in the chat.
Did it? Did it? Okay. Y'all write that. Y'all write that down. For pgcps.com.
Yes.
Wait a minute, which one is it?
The email is
and your email address also. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you for giving us some background. We appreciate you. Now, y'all, look, we have 10 minutes left. Does anyone have anything they want to speak about before we end tonight's meeting? Thank you, Mr. Bailey, for being our engineer for tonight's meeting. Appreciate you. Any questions before we get off the line?
Just one thing, Miss Taylor, this is Miss Wigfall. I want to thank you for bringing each month very insightful presenters and all of valuable information in the community. And so we all appreciate you and your leadership. So thank you so much for your support.
So right after this meeting, I believe we're going to get the petition And I'm gonna send it over to you and Mr. Harrison.
Okay, that's fine.
Thank you, Mr. Harrison. You gonna close us out?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I want to thank everyone that came out. Tonight was a great meeting, as always. Thank you so much, Madam President. We appreciate all that you do. And I'm closing this out. I wrote
Before
this
you
down.
close out, can I say this real quick before I forget, because y'all know I forget stuff.
Go right
We
ahead.
did have some people that went over to the church.
I put the sign out.
I know. I got emails that they went over.
I couldn't put it inside by the door. I can only put it outside the gate.
I just wanted to put that out because Mr. John wanted somebody to be out there to direct them, but I don't know who was gonna do that, but go ahead.
All right. So this was a great meeting, and I'm gonna close this out with this. I wrote this down. What does a community mean to you? You know, tonight we heard great things of what a community is. We talked about the school board. We talk about the businesses. We talk about the community project that's happening on Center Drive. We talk about all the judges, the election. This is what the community means. This is what a community is supposed to be doing, talking about the business that affects all of our lives in our everyday. So I encourage the community to try to get more involved and be a part, know your neighbors and start talking, because on Center Drive, everybody on Center Drive has my number, but I'm gonna get out there and get those names so we can get those speed bumps on Center Drive. And I encourage other people that live on your block, get to know your neighbors, start bringing them to the meetings so we can build this coalition where we can have a stronger community. So people can see that we're doing things that's going to make all of our lives better. So I just wanted to say that. I don't want to hold up our time. We've been here a long time, but I just want to say thank you to everyone who came out, all the ones behind the scenes, the community for coming out and getting this valuable information, and hopefully you can share it with your neighbors so they understand what we're trying to do. We want to build this community to be the best than all the rest. You know, unity in the community. It's on our shirt, and we mean it by that. So with that said, Madam President, I can turn it over and you can say your good words.
The reminder. Then we could say, don't forget what's going on this weekend. We know we're gonna start off on this Saturday with Faith in Blue. That's where our faith-based community and our public safety officers, which are police officers, they come together. They have an event for the community. And as I said, they put this one, which is Division 4 and 5, they're doing it together this year because it's usually elsewhere, but they put it in our backyard. I guess because look, we're Division 4 and 5, so they decided to have it here, Pageant's Corner. So please come out. It's from 11 to 3 this Saturday. Remember, we have a cleanup on Sunday, 1 to 3. Bring your youth out. They can get student service hours. And then the following Saturday, we have another cleanup, October the 19th, from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. That's the one where we partner with the county through Growing Green with Pride. So please come out to those. I think, did I hit it? Did I hit them all? Did I hit them all, y'all?
I think so.
The next meeting.
No. Next meeting is November the 12th. November the 14th. And we're going to be on Zoom again. So we'll get it straight so everyone know that we're on the Zoom platform going forward until we figure out if we can get a new where we can go into a facility.
Right.
So everyone have a good night and thank you for coming out. We appreciate you all, but come on, get involved.
Get involved,
It takes
people.
all of us. Thank you. God bless and good night.
With all minds clear.
You know, I normally start. Yes. Yes. So good night.